Have you been seeing spots before your eyes? Well, I hope not, but if you're seeing spots on your plants, that's something important maybe, and it's also the topic of our 2-Minute Pest. Amy and I have brought together a whole bunch of things here, and this is kind of white spots it looks like. What do you got?
Yeah, so this is actually powdery mildew. It's a fungus, and you'll see that it basically just looks like white powder being puffed onto the plant.
Right about there. Look at that. And what does it come from?
It's a fungus.
Yeah, okay.
And usually they're coming out with different varieties that may be resistant to the powdery mildew.
Yeah.
So that would be a good option when
this is on crepe myrtle in this particular case here. And some of the varieties that have American Indian names. This one's Seminole, and it's supposed to have some resistance. But if it gets in the wrong environment, these are down at the bottom, maybe not quite as much air movement. Guess what we got?
Yep,
powdery mildew. Yeah. Here's one we see quite often. This is Cercospora leaf spot, and it's on the ligustrum. And you know, everybody has some. If you don't have some Cercospora leaf spots, you're not normal, okay? So don't feel too bad. But cultural conditions keep the plants fertilized. You can also use some of the fungicides to keep it down. What do you have?
All right, over here I've got a Duranta. It's a golden rained Duranta, and it has the fungal leaf spots here. You can actually see those spots. Usually it has a brown spot and a little yellow ring around it sometimes, but this is, again, very common in plants. So if you don't have this, you know, you're not a real gardener, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, especially during the summertime when we get some of these things. I got two quickies here. This is boxwood, and we've got the yellowing coming up on the plant. This boxwood's going downhill, and my guess is it really has a nematode problem, probably. But you can see the lichens. If you see these green things on the top there, don't worry about them. It just says the plant's not growing as vigorously as it might, so that could be a problem for you. And the last one happens to be Indian hawthorn. Just the spots here are kind of reddish and yellow. That means there's a nutrient deficiency there. So if you see that, then you know that you need to maybe put out some more fertilizer. Could indicate a root problem also, couldn't it?
Yeah, and something else that could be done is not sanitizing your pruners, maybe with not enough airflow, or maybe the fungus is on the pruners, and you go and you start pruning all these different plants.
You're move the problem around, right?
Exactly.
Good, thanks, Amy. And if you see some of these spots, well, like Amy says, don't feel too bad about them. But if they're getting really numerous, you might want to have them identified at your extension service to get control of this 2-Minute Pest.